Alright, everybody, welcome back. So, today was one heck of a day, but I'm glad to close my day with something that I enjoy the most, and that's playing with knives. So this one is something that I've been wanting to feature on my channel for a while. I am a fan of Benchmade. I think sometimes their quality assurance or their quality, the people who make sure that stuff is done correctly. I want to say it's quality assurance. I know there's another word for it. Quality something else. I'm a little tired. Forgive me. Let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into today. I have for you guys the Benchmade Infidel. And this is kind of an interesting one for me because now I've held these before. I've held one before. This belongs to a Marine, actually. And he kept his original box and everything. And it's kind of funny. He has two of these. He has one that is a regular silver blade, and now this one. So I'm actually really happy that he sent it my way so I can do a review on it on this channel. And I'm going to give you my overall opinion on what I think about double action switchblades. So let's get into it. So right now, I don't know what all this information is, but that's all that. I don't understand what any of that is or what it means. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. And then here it is, 3300BK. So I'm assuming that that's going to be the model number, and it being black, and an Infidel. And it has a little symbol for tactical. It doesn't say every day, and obviously this is a black class knife. It's going to say that. Black class right there. And yeah, this is, we were talking about it, and I was telling him, I was like, man, you know what I would really like to put on my channel? Benchmade Infidel. And he's like, oh man, I got two of those. I even have one with the original box, and here it is. The other one he took out on deployment, so it's a little beat up. He's like, oh, I don't want you to have that one on your channel because it looks a little ugly. And I was like, whatever, he lent me this one, so I'm pretty happy. Infidel, and of course, here's the birth date on there, 9/26/18. So that's interesting. It's about, what, 3 years old? 3 or 4 years old. Benchmade, you can see that, all that, I'll just go ahead and pop the bad boy open. And he's a collector like me, so very, very cool that he has this kind of thing. And it takes up the entire box. I've noticed that you don't get the foam inside of this one. It's just, bam, you get this humongo weird sheath that I think it's Molly compatible. Hopefully I said that right, worded that right. So you pull this tab right here, and it's a button closure, and then the knife is right here. So before I get into that, I don't know what this is. If anybody in the comment section can leave me a little hint of what this does or what it's for, I have no idea. Wait. Malice clip? Raise the tab. I don't know what this is for. I don't know what it's... Tactical Tailor ink. Huh. Interesting. First time I've seen that in the light. I have no idea what this is for. I'm assuming it's going to be for this. Either way, that's really cool. So there's that. And of course, you get your standard Benchmade reading material, your warranty and all that good and happy jazz of what you need to do. So yeah, you get that with every Benchmade purchase. There's nothing else in the box. That's just all. That's it. So I'll put that off to the side so we can get back to this. Alright, Benchmade made in the USA. I like Benchmade. Benchmade is great. And here it is in its blacked out edition. It says The Infidel. Very, very nice. Deep carry pocket clip. Now, if it were me, I probably wouldn't really care much for that on there on the pocket clip. Just something like blacked out would be great, or just not having The Infidel on there. That's just my personal opinion. And you can tell this has been a little bit worn, I guess, at least from him messing around with it. But here it is, and it is a double action switchblade, so it goes out, and there's still oil on it. How cool is that? All right. It's a dagger style, double-edged dagger style blade. Mick Henry design, D2 steel, benchmade.com/patent. So that's really cool. Benchmade. And I believe there's a number right there underneath that. If I can get it to focus. There might be a number, or it just might say USA on the bottom. I'm trying to look with my eyes. I can't really tell right now. But it might be a number underneath that butterfly. It could just say USA on there. I might have to like look at under a microscope or something. Well, not a microscope, a magnifying glass, excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty small anyways. So you got a fuller that runs down the spine, and if you, or not the spine, the middle of the blade. If you don't know what a fuller is, it is basically what a lot of people think of as a blood groove. Sometimes it's used for aesthetics. Other times it is used for weight reduction. And what I mean by aesthetics is that it just looks good. It looks really attractive. Some dude told me, oh, the purpose of a blood groove and why they call it a blood groove is when you stab it into somebody, it creates a pocket of air so you don't get any blood on the blade, and it goes in better, faster, something like that. I thought that was the most BS story I've ever heard. The guy didn't know what a blood groove was. That was just his own definition of it. I corrected him and told him that it is actually a fuller, and I described what a fuller is. But yeah, that's what that is. So I don't mean to school you on that. When I heard that story, I thought it was such bogus. I was sitting there laughing in my head, trying not to be a mean person, but that guy is such a blade snob. He thought he knew everything. Anyways, this is a double action switchblade, and what that is it goes in, it goes out with the button right here. And that's why it has these steps, these kind of like steps on there, so that way you have good grip going up to push the blade out and going back, pushing the blade in. So double action means you don't have to do the whole, charge up the handle or anything like that to pull the blade back. And this is a very sought-after knife in military and law enforcement. That's why it's called the black. It's labeled black class. It's for military and law enforcement, intended anyways. Now my thing is, when it comes to military, I think a fixed blade is much preferable when you're using a knife. Because this sort of thing, if you're out on deployment, there can be dust or debris that can get in there, and it can cause the knife to malfunction. And what I mean by that is that it cannot make the knife work very well when there's schmutz on the inside right here, because everything runs on there's a spring in here. There's two springs. One spring that goes out and one spring that brings it back in, so it's working simultaneously. Like right now, it's under spring tension right now, even as it's in rest. And it's under spring tension even now when it's open, because the spring has to work. So either there's one spring that is depressing and compressing, going up and going down, or there's two springs that go that stretch out and then stretch in. So one has to do the opposite of what the other one does inside this handle. Now, I'm not going to take this apart, obviously. This is not my knife. I'm not going to do that. But basically, you can look it up. There's certain one. I don't know which one this one is. It could be a double spring or it could be a single spring in there. But it's very, very awesome. It's very convenient, by the way. It is. But because he's military, he's able to get his hands on stuff like this. I'm not. But it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool nonetheless. I don't think it's very practical. I really don't, because here's my knife. I think this is more practical because there's no springs in there. It's just you pop it open, you use it. It's on a single lock that doesn't require anything but your own, you know what I mean? simple motor functions, and it's ready to go. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the specs of this. I'm very sorry I ranted on about that. It's a little bit unorganized of me. But a knife like this is something that I find very, very cool. But it's not something that I would use. I mean, it'd be great to collect. So it comes in at 4.92 ounces, so this is under or around about 5 ounces. That is great. With the aluminum handle scales on this thing, or aluminum shell, I should say. Now, what's one thing that's really, really curious to me is that there's this middle portion right here. You see that gray line that runs throughout the entire knife handle here. It has jimping right on the inside of that. Now, when you're holding this, you actually have a little bit of grip right here. But the jimping, I can barely feel it. So I don't even understand what the point is of that, unless you're like really, really sweaty hands and you're bearing down on that and you're stabbing your enemy or your dinner or whatever the heck you're stabbing this thing with. I don't feel the jimping here. Aesthetically, it looks nice, but I just don't see the functionality of it. The shape is nice. You know, hammer, if I get it in a hammer fist, the full grip, and then back to just normal saber grip, it does feel fine, but I can hardly feel that jimping, so it's a little bit odd. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the length of the blade here, so we can get into the specs. So you're looking at a 4-inch blade. This is the full-size Infidel. This is not the mini. I do not know what the mini looks or feels like, but I know it's just a smaller version. The 5-inch handle, which is to be expected. And of course, if you're thinking that this is a chunky monkey, I would suggest that you'd be right, because this handle is kind of beefy. Comes in at a 14.4 on the handle, and on the blade, you're looking at a 2.1. So, all in all, this is convenient for those who are in active deployment or just law enforcement, because this is just something that's more convenient to open and close with ease, without any problems. You could use it for whatever you're doing, trying to, defend your life, because this is basically intended, in my opinion, this is intended as a fighting implement, not something that you would just willy-nilly cut some rope while you're on a boat. But I'm sure you could do that with this. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to. I'm just saying that this isn't exactly designed for one purpose. This is designed for one purpose. I'm so tired. Forgive me. This is a self-defense implement, not something like this where you could just, open up a package. But this is actually meant for self-defense, in my greatest opinion, because the way the opening on this thing is supposed to be so precise. And it is. And it's a fantastic knife. It really is. A very, very fantastic knife. It's smooth opening. Very, very smooth opening. I've seen fakes, and they don't operate as well as this does. I've seen fakes. Now, this price tag on this knife can range anywhere between $300 to $500 for this particular piece. That's a bit steep. I think the last time I saw a price tag on this particular model was around about $400. And, there are sometimes you can get it maybe around about $380 or just under $390 for this, but that's still a $400 knife, breaking $500. My personal preference would have been the gray or the stone-washed blade, but this makes it that much cooler because it's all black, so it's supposed to be a non-reflective surface for those tactical ninjas out there who really want to get into somebody's baby back ribs with this thing. I'm pretty sure that it will get the job done. Otherwise, for us normies, I don't think that this is something that's going to be very good. My opinion on the switchblades, I think they are impractical because you constantly have to make sure that this knife is cleaned, because I've heard stories about it sitting in someone's pocket and getting lint and dust and whatever debris from your pocket in there. Someone took it out of their pocket, accidentally dropped it in some sand, got a little bit of sand in here and in there, making it very gritty, and it just fell off the track. And the knife wouldn't deploy all the way. It would probably go about this far, so they would have to shake it out and they have to take it apart, and it's just a whole lot of other work. It's a great novelty to have a knife that's that quick to use, to open and deploy. But do I suggest anybody purchase a knife like this? For $400, you can get a knife that doesn't have to have so many moving parts. Doesn't have to have this instant and still be just as good. But that's just my personal opinion. I still appreciate knives like this. I really think they're really cool. The gimmick is great. The design is fantastic. I mean, it has combat ready written all over it. But it is not something that I would trust my life on, especially if I've been carrying this around and dropping it in sand and dirt and pocket lint. If I needed this to save my life and my guns fail me, and I do this and my blade does not deploy because of a single piece of, dust in there or pebble from when I dropped it on the ground, that's not great. So, but it is a fantastic knife nonetheless. And collection-wise, I think this is great for a collector. But you know what? You got this. So you got this. And if you know how to use this, then you're less likely to get pocket lint in it. But you still, if you drop it in something like dirt or sand or mud, expect this thing not to work too well. I mean, it could work a few times, but you also got that good chance that this thing is not going to deploy when you absolutely need it. And that can be a downer for some people. So this is still a fantastic knife. I'm not going to bash on it too much. I still think it's super cool for what it is. Is it worth the $400 to $500? I don't think so. In my personal opinion, no. I'm sure there are better knives out there for $400 to $500. You can even get a fixed blade. You don't have to worry about this button thing. You just pull it out the sheath and you're ready to go. I don't know. That's just my personal take on it. But I love Benchmade. They make some fantastic stuff. Their quality assurance could be a little better, but I guess that's with anybody. Well, anyways, I hope you guys like that video. I hope it's slightly informative. I don't know too much, but what the stuff that I do know, I share with whoever I can. But I'm always learning. I'm learning new things every day. So, with that, it's just another late night for me, so I'm a little bit tired. But I was really excited about having this on the video, so I figured why not. So please go ahead, slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon to stay updated when I come out with new videos so you guys have a little bit of entertainment. If you like what you see, it is greatly appreciated. Be kind, be safe, and please carry responsibly. And I'll see you guys in the next video.